Alright guys, just saw Paddington in Peru. I'm excited to make this video for you guys. That was one of the most anticipated movies I had this year, only because it's Paddington in Peru. And like that's where half of my family's from, so that's awesome in my opinion. Also, had no idea that Paddington is even originated from Peru. I'm assuming that they maybe teased that in the second movie. But yeah, there's a reason why he's in Peru. So let's get this video started. Let's get right into it. First things first, there actually are bears in Peru. Yeah, they're an endangered species. But, you know, it's said to only have around 5,000 of them or so. And it's crazy to even think there's bears in Peru. So yeah, there we go. That's just a fact check real quick. There are bears in Peru. Second, let's go into why Peru, right? Like, where does Paddington all come from? I got some notes down here, so if I look aside, that's why. Check out my shirt. I'm sorry if it fits a little tight. I got this when I was in Peru. And that was like when I was 16 years old, and now I'm 23, so it's a pretty big difference. All right, it's a little tight, but maybe it's like it's a good tight. You know what I'm saying? Nah, chill. Anyway, so basically, this is what it is. All right, there's this UK author. His name is Michael Bond, and he was inspired by this bear he saw in a shop in London, right? And so basically, all of the background of Paddington is that he was orphaned after an earthquake in Peru. It's called the Dark Peru. It's the made-up place of where Paddington's from, right? So he's orphaned there, and he's brought in by his Aunt Lucy, and his Aunt Lucy eventually goes into the retired home for bears in Peru, Lima specifically, and yeah, that's the whole story. He eventually, like after the aunt gets in the retirement home, she sends his ass to London, and someone takes him in, and this is all from his inspiration of real life because he grew up around the World War II a time, and so basically during that time there were the Kindertransport, which was refugees like children from Germany being brought in to all over the specifically London, and so he had that experience in growing up in life, and his family even brought in some Jewish children, some refugees. So essentially, that's what Paddington is. He's a refugee from Peru that goes over to London. And, why is he British? Why is a British bear from Peru? Because he was colonized. Nah, all jokes aside, that's a pretty rough word. That's a little extra, a little extreme. No, it's just because he was sent to London to be, in a sense, like, rescued because his aunt Lucy couldn't take care of him anymore. And yeah, that's what the backstory is behind Paddington. Now let's go into the movie, right? And while we're doing that, I'm gonna be making a marmalade sandwich, which is apparently Paddington's favorite sandwich. I don't know what the deal is with marmalade and bread. Apparently, it's not even like a London thing. Like the backstory is that's what his aunt Lucy made him back when he was living in Peru. At least that's what the book says. I don't really know about terms of like correct in terms of like the movie, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen the first or second one. I've really only ever seen this one that just came out now, but I've heard great things. I've heard wonderful things about 1 and 2, specifically 2, which has Hugh Grant in it, which was pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know much about Hugh Grant, but he's a hell of an actor. I saw him in this movie, what was it called? I forgot what it was called, but I'll put the little picture up there of the movie I'm referring to. It's killing me that I don't know the name because it was one of my favorite movies last year. But it's you know what I'm talking about. It just came out in 2024. All right, let's get going while this video is going because I'm trying to shorten my videos up. They're getting way too long. So let's just sum up the movie. All right, without any spoilers, of course. We don't want any spoilers. So this is the basic plot, right? So again, he went to Peru basically because his Aunt Lucy is missing. And this whole movie is him trying to find his Aunt Lucy, right? And during that, there's this sketchy captain introduced, played by Antonio Banderas, which is ultimately just insane to me. My mind is blown by this whole movie. Because one, he's in Peru, right? That's where half my family's from. Two, Antonio Banderas is in it, and my name's Antonio. So this movie tripped me out, like an insane amount, but whatever. So basically, it's like Puss in Boots and Paddington are having a movie here, because every time I hear Antonio Banderas' voice, I can't stop thinking about Puss in Boots because it's like the same exact voice. He does nothing different. Going back to the movie though, right? So, Antonio Banderas is the sketchy captain who's gonna help him go through the Amazon to find his Aunt Lucy, and so he's now in the Amazon. By the way, his whole family comes with him. And in the very beginning of the movie, Paddington gets the British passport. So it's kind of funny that it takes him 3 movies to become a British like citizen or whatever, and get his British passport. Because first one came out in 2014, and the amount of time it takes him to get a British passport is probably the most realistic thing about the movie. Because there's no way you're telling me this family from London is gonna be able to survive in the Amazon forest with like basically little to none food. Because in certain circumstances, they all get separated. So I don't see that happening. I don't see a family from London being able to survive the Amazon. But that's just me. Maybe they're resilient. Maybe I don't know any better.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
So that's the whole plot, right? They're trying to find his own Lucy. And throughout the movie, they go through all throughout the Amazon. And they check out the Andes Mountains. And it's a really beautiful shot. I'm not going to lie. I can't tell the whole time whether or not it was like just green screened or what. Because every time I see a movie where there's an animated character in the movie, I always think like, okay, so what else is just fake in a sense, you know? Now here's what's going on around the movie, right? So like I mentioned earlier, there's this captain. He's sketchy and he's got like schizo or something. I'm joking, but he basically sees ghosts, and it's all from his like bloodline, and that's a whole thing with that where his daughter's trying to like change his ways, and he's changing his ways for his daughter because this is a very family-oriented movie in a sense. But it's also about like identity, which I find very interesting because it's a movie about an animated bear. But like I mentioned earlier, he gets his British passport, but now he's going back to where he originates from, and it's just like a culture shock for him because he's like, this is where I'm really from, right? And it goes more into that in little detail, by the way, which I didn't like, in my opinion. I feel like it should be a big part of the movie, but it makes sense. It's a children's movie, so most children aren't gonna understand that at all or whatever. But I think it was pretty cool. Moving on. This is also about a family growing up, right? Because the mom's upset that her family is all big now. Remember, the first movie's from 2014, so it can make sense why the family's all grown up, ready to like leave the house and everything. His daughter's going to college, the son's entering trade school, yada yada. So anyways, another part of the movie, for whatever reason, is that the father's having his own thing where he needs to take more risks, which is why he even accepted the fact that they should all go to Peru together to, go find this Aunt Lucy of his. And then the grandma is also stuck in the retirement home, like I mentioned earlier, with this ominous church and the ominous nun. And that's kind of a funny backstory also, because I'm assuming like when they leave the grandma at the retirement home, that's it. No more grandma the whole movie. I was wrong. The grandma does appear. She has her own little B plot in the movie as well. But it has a lot more Antonio Banderas than I thought it would have. He has like this whole adventure with the with Paddington. And they're separated. All of them are separated. But Paddington ends up staying with Antonio Banderas' character, the captain. And I think that's just hilarious. Because, like, out of all characters, like, it would be Paddington and the captain or whatever. So anyways, so on and so forth. Things happen in the movie. He finds his Aunt Lucy. And a lot more other things he finds as well. I'm not trying to get into the spoilers in this video. But yeah, that's the majority of what happens in this movie. And at the very end, he realizes that, he was struggling throughout the movie to understand his identity and why he feels like he's being called back to Peru. And, it's assumed, basically, that the family, the Browns, are thinking, okay, this is the part where Paddington moves on and doesn't live with us anymore because he is going to have to go be part of his family now in Peru. And at the end, like, he chooses no. Okay, sorry, spoilers. I'll stop the video when I'm getting to the very ending of the movie. But in my opinion, I think that, whatever. I'll put the spoilers. I'm sorry. So anyways, back to this part now. So he realizes that he's having a problem with his identity, but all of him is what makes him him, including being from London and finally having a British passport. So, he asks if he could stay with the family, even though he's now found his real family here in Peru. And they accept him gladly. And I'm not going to lie, I think this got me in my feels because growing up, being someone that was born in America and being like one of the few in my family to be born in America, apart, this is like, of course, like my sister came after me, so like it kind of helps the case of like there's a couple of us now. But anyways, like I've always been told that like I'm not Peruvian, I'm not Colombian, I'm American, and that kind of like it gets to you a lot. You know what I mean? Because like I speak Spanish, I eat all the foods, I know about the culture. I may be disconnected from my Peruvian side because my parents are separated, so I'm more of my Colombian side, a little TMI there. But still, like, I've always felt this way, like how like I'm just one thing. And then I grew up to understand that I'm more than just American, and I felt like really in tune with my culture that makes me me, and it really like awakened something inside me. It helped me be a little more like outspoken, helped me be a lot more like finding out who I am as a person. So towards the end of this movie, it got me to cry a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, real men cry, you know what I'm saying? So this movie got me, and it's part of the reason why I think I would rate this movie so high. So out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this movie like an 8.3 out of 10. It's in my opinion that it just spoke to me a lot, so I rate it pretty high, and that's very high, by the way, because at the end of the day, it's an anime movie about a bear from like that's a British bear. I don't know. I thought it was great. I would recommend you watch it. That's why I'm not trying to spoil it as much as I could. And I was trying to keep this video short, but it wouldn't be a cinema cocktail video without making a cocktail. So I'm gonna show you how to make one of the best cocktails from Peru and one of the parts of South America as well. It's called a Pisco Sour, and I can't wait to make it for you. So that's what we're gonna be doing next. All right, let's get right into it. That's what I meant to say. We're gonna get right into it. Cinema Cocktails, episode 2. More to come for Cinema Cocktails. I can't wait. This video is gonna be nice and short and sweet. Let's get into it.
Alright, so for this cocktail, you're really only going to need some Pisco, which this is from Chile, which actually neighbors Peru, down the very southern part of Peru. So that's something right there. You're going to need simple syrup. I got some of my homemade simple syrup left over from when I made it in the Super Bowl. You're going to need some lime. You're going to need an egg white. And I know what you're thinking. That sounds nasty, but just trust the process, okay? This is real serious stuff. Like, this is when you know you're professional, alright? And then you're going to need some bitters for the very end of the garnish. It's gonna look a little pretty, and that's really all you need to make a Pisco Sour. All right, let's jump into the first step. So first, you're gonna need 2 ounces of Pisco. Put it into the shaker. Put that right in there. You can put half a lime in there. Squeeze that bad boy in. Get all that lime juice in there. It is called the Pisco Sour. That's like half of the name right there, sour. Squeeze that bad boy in there. Oops. You're gonna need about a tablespoon of that simple syrup. Oh, I should have opened that. Hold on one second. You can put like a little less than half an ounce of simple syrup in there. Can't get it too sweet. Now, Pisco Sours, you can have all kinds of flavors of Pisco Sours, right? You could have an elderflower Pisco Sour. You could have passion fruit Pisco Sour. It really gives you a chance to be creative there, but I want to keep it super simple because in the spirit of Paddington and Peru, we're just trying to stick to a Peruvian cocktail. This next step, I'm going to get you in full profile mode for because this next part gets very interesting. Alright, so for this next part, you're going to put egg whites in the shaker. Yes, that's right, egg whites. I know it sounds gross, I know it sounds a little absurd, a little far-fetched, but I'm serious. That's what you're going to go do. So you're going to go ahead and crack the egg. Now, this next part gets a little tricky. I like to balance the yolk in the eggshell while all the egg whites are dripping into the shaker. Oh, bruh. Okay, that's alright. That could be fixed. Fortunately, this happens sometimes too, alright? You're just gonna go ahead and... That's a little embarrassing. But hey, listen, it wouldn't be Cinema Cocktails if it wasn't a little bit of a mistake right now and then. So you're gonna go ahead and just, very gently, or else the whole thing is ruined, take out the yolk with a fancy bar spoon or any kind of spoon. It's gonna take a lot of effort, very carefully. Put it. Oh, all right. It's okay. This is a blooper. We're gonna do it all over again. That's okay. All right. This is the first take. Haha. Anyways, now you're up to the egg white stage. Now this part seems crazy. I know it seems insane. Egg whites. Antonio, what are you doing? Are you making a cocktail or are you making an omelet? Okay, I get it. But just trust the process. You want that extra nice foamy layer. You're gonna need that egg white. So just pretend there's no egg white in there. Close your eyes. Grow up, will ya? Okay, it's just an egg. That's all it is. And listen, egg prices are really high right now, so you should be honored there's an egg in your drink. That must mean it's real fancy. So again, I like to do this process very risky, as you can tell by the blooper. But you're gonna want to just crack the egg, break it apart, and you're gonna just you're gonna want to balance the egg yolk in half of the shell as all the egg white just droops out. This part can get very tricky, so just take your time with it. Just let it droop, right? Once you have enough egg white, you're gonna go ahead and put the egg yolk in a separate container. A little more egg white in there. It doesn't hurt to have all the egg whites because you want this drink to be extra foamy. It's gonna look real pretty. You want it's like half of the drink is that foaminess on the top, and that's what we're gonna need. So once you have all the ingredients in there, I know you're thinking, put some ice in it and shake it, right? Wrong. With egg whites, you're gonna want a dry shake. So close that bad boy up. You're gonna wanna shake the hell out of this thing. Shake it like your life depends on it. Oh, you see, that's when you got a nice good shake, when it pops one by itself. And once you got that dry shake going, you're gonna go ahead and put some ice in there. All right, I'm back. Ice is in there. Shake that bad boy up just to chill. It's all you want. You don't need to go that crazy with it. And once it's cold, you're good to go. That's enough right there. Usually I don't go above and beyond, but this time I want to make sure it comes out just right. So you're gonna use a strainer, really pop it. Okay, there you go, it's popped. Grab your nice fancy little glass right here. This right here is a perfect glass for it. Go ahead and put it on here. Gotta get the money shot. Here we go. Ready? It's extra foamy. Just go ahead and pour that in there. Oh yeah. See all that white in the top? What you want to see? That's how you know you got a good one in your hands. Okay. That's perfect right there. And to be real fancy with it, you're gonna want to put 3 little drops on there. You're supposed to like put them in a line, but I can never get this part right, unfortunately. But one day I'll learn. All right, and then take a toothpick. I'm gonna take another toothpick and just like slowly make a line. Doesn't matter. I give up on that part, but I'm gonna show you the final product because it's really pretty. Okay, you're gonna like this right here. All right, I may have overdone with the bitters, but that right there is Pisco Sour. Nice and pretty. Enjoy. And you see how that foam that just came out of them? Hey, yo. But nah, still. That's good right there. That's perfect. Man, that's delicious. So there it is. That's Paddington in Peru for you. This is the Cinema Cocktails episode 2, Pisco Sour, Paddington in Peru edition. And you can't have your Pisco Sour without your marmalade sandwich, am I right? I don't get it. I do not get marmalade and bread. You need that peanut butter. This is not it, homie. Shout out to all my Peruvians out there. Shout out to all my 3rd, 2nd generation Latino Americans out there. You guys are as Latino as I am. And if not more. If you don't know Spanish, learn Spanish. Why not? It's good to be bilingual. I know I was real proud of myself when I got my Spanish to be a lot better than it was before. I may not have the accent, but that doesn't matter, man. I can talk to anybody in Spanish. I feel confident enough to. I'm just rambling now. But yeah, man, that's good. It's good right there. As J-Lo would say, J-Lo the queen, mi gente. Nah, it's a bad example. Don't be like J-Lo. Don't be like J-Lo. But still, shout out to Peru. Shout out to having the best food. I'm not gonna lie, Peru's got the best food. You cannot argue me that. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta get that right. Oh, snap. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah. Like, subscribe, comment. Shout out my Peruvian shirt that doesn't fit me. Alright, maybe that was a little too much, but still. That's a little sneak peek for what's coming up next. Captain America, the Red Hulk. I don't know what the real title is, but Captain America review is coming out next. Can't wait to see if that's a thumbs down or a thumbs up. It's gonna be a flop or a bop. We'll find out in the next episode. Cinema cocktails. I'm gonna make a nice red drink. It's gonna be a red drink. Probably put some like gas station pills in there. Get real angry with it.